Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to The Resistance. We're going to talk about two things today. One is day trading a tech name. Two is investing in uranium, which is something we don't talk about, is investing, because the last time I had a good investment that I had really strong conviction on was back in LYC. And mind you, on this channel, we talk about trading for like maybe 1 or 2 weeks at the most. Short-term stuff, right? But that's not to say I don't invest, but the last time I had a real strong conviction was LYC, because here around October, end of September, around $2.50, $2.60, Trump announced that the USA is going to reduce its reliance on China for rare earths. It was like a national emergency. It was a big deal. And this stock, LYC, as the biggest producer outside of China, absolutely moonshot from $2.50 to $11.30 at its highs. Now, you guys can see here I was marking way back in 2021 on the charts here. I was looking at the financials for each quarter and what was happening because I believed at this time here around Q4, it was probably trading at what I thought was fair value. So that's where I started really taking note of what was happening. And you can see sentiment just kept pushing this thing along. Now, fundamentals tells you where a stock should be, like fundamentally, like the fair value, but technicals tell you how it gets there. Now, with things like big sentiment shifts from macro news events, you know, something like AI, for example, I think a lot of people will say that certain stocks are overvalued, and that may be true, but the sentiment pushes it along. The technicals tells you where it's going to top out. The fundamentals tells you where it should be. So you can kind of ride that extra momentum and get the signal for where to exit. So for here is where I sort of started seeing reasonable value, and then it shot up even further. And you can see, like, over the years, it eventually did pull back to around 50%, which is roughly where we started eyeing off the fair value target. And then, you know, another couple of years later, it started launching again. I haven't followed through the story of LYC and what's happened. I'm assuming they ramped up production or something like that, or maybe the price for rare earths has gone up. I'm not sure. I've kind of stopped paying attention to LYC. But that's kind of the idea and story behind LYC, and I kind of want to translate that into uranium. And I invested today in BOE and a little bit in PDN. The bulk of it was in BOE. But before we get into the actual stock, I just want to briefly cover what the announcement today was for uranium between Australia and India. It's an administrative agreement that was signed. This is something that was in the works about 2014, so 10, 12 years ago. And for whatever reason, it just halted. It just didn't progress for 10 to 12 years. And now we sign this administrative agreement to operationalize commercial uranium exports. So that's kind of the idea. It's very entry-level stuff. We haven't got like numbers exactly as to how much we're going to provide or supply, but this is exclusively for civilian use, so for energy generation for your reactors. And we know India's supply, or rather we know India's demand requirements, right? They're currently using 28 reactors and they're generating about 8 gigawatts of energy from those reactors through uranium. Now, they want to ramp up to 100 gigawatts by 2048, or is it 2047? So another 22 years or so, they want to ramp up exponentially. And Australia is so well positioned because we have 30% of global reserves of uranium. So this partnership should, in my opinion, reverse the sentiment currently that's been experienced on both BOE and PDN. You know, PDN's trading a little bit better regardless. It's kind of going sideways, kind of this midpoint here at around $10. Now, one thing I want to say is I'm not recommending you to buy, sell, or do anything. I'm not a financial advisor, yada, yada, yada. All I'm doing is explaining to you my reasoning and thoughts behind the trade or behind this investment. So I have started an investment in BOE and PDN. Now, the reason I put the bulk in BOE is because you can see the market cap difference. PDN is at 4 billion, BOE is at 400 million, roughly. Is it 380 or something like that? That's okay. Sorry, it's a little bit high. It's $500 million at the moment. So PDN is trading 8 times higher than BOE. Now I'll give you a very, very, very quick brief rundown between the two companies. Now PDN has a mine life of 17 years and has production of about I think it was 4.8 million pounds per year, whereas BOE has a mine life between 11 and 14 years with 2.5 million pounds per year. That sounds about right. Don't quote me exactly on those numbers, but that should be about right. So there's a big discrepancy in market cap between the two companies, hence why I chose BOE. If there is going to be a shift in momentum and for Australian and uranium stocks, I would prefer it to be at a lower base, which for BOE, it's definitely trading at a lower base. It's come off $6 down to $1 and trading at $1.35 today. And technically, it looks like it could break, and a big level to watch will be this sort of move towards 150, where it creates a higher high for the first time. Wow, when was the last time it created a higher high? Back in January, and it was very, very short-lived. So it made a higher high from December, and then it just kept going down, down, down. It looks technically sound to reverse, and yeah, I'm happy to just get a starter in this and add on once it gets to $1.50. Once it gets to $1.50, it'll be higher high. I would rather get a little bit of $1.50 and then wait for a pullback, if a pullback does occur, somewhere in the $1.40 range to add on to that upswing if it occurs. So that's sort of the plan for BOE, and PDN is kind of just leave it alone and see where it goes from this $10 base. I'm much more interested in BOE at the moment. So that's kind of my thoughts and thinking behind that. And Weebit was the next stock we're going to take a look at. This was a day trade today that was mentioned in chat a couple of times early in the morning. Yeah, I was not expecting this kind of move. There was no announcement that I saw, no company announcement. I'm not sure if there was something on AFR, but what ended up happening was very choppy opening session. This just felt completely untradeable. And, you know, someone mentioned it around 10:30 or maybe a little bit earlier, but I basically just had it on a screen, and then I saw this high volume break, and I was like, oh, okay, so we broke yesterday's high. We're coming back. Got a starter around in the 760s, and then because it failed to keep going down to this 757, 758 level, I was like, okay, well, I'll pay up an extra few cents. And as it was going up, it was just buy, all the way through to 770. And then we just kind of left it alone, managed the risk. Didn't want to see it go below 762. So maybe our average was about 770 or so, maybe 769 average. And, you know, the risk was maybe about 1.4 at the most, realistically 1.2 to 1.4. So very low risk for this one. And it just absolutely stonked to the upside. So a couple of things worth noting is that there was a level to look at, and that's $8. So before I get to that intraday, I actually want to zoom out a little bit and look at it from a sort of a longer term view. We've got the 1 hour chart here, and I'll just chart these aren't perfect trend lines. It's just to demonstrate visually what was happening. So it was a rally, consolidate, bit of a fake out into a rally, and then back into a bull flag. And God, I haven't used that word bull flag in a very long time, but this is very much a pullback in an uptrend. When people talk about buying the dip, this is the dip they're talking about, not this dip, right? So you don't want to buy, I mean, I would rather not buy, because we don't talk in financial terms here, well, rather financial advising terms. Something that's trending down, I don't want to buy a pullback. Something that's rallying, I want to buy the pullback. Something that's rallying, buy the pullback. Something that's rallying, buy the pullback. Now for me, I'm not buying the pullback per se just in random spots. I'm not buying a pullback here, here, or here. I'm just buying this from an intraday perspective because I spotted the breakout, because someone mentioned it on Discord, which thank you to them. So we see a nice base trading at the highs for the morning session. I just want to point out as well, volumes also tell the story a lot in this one. Opening chop, right? It moves up, chills above VWAP on really low volumes. So high volume chop, but it is trading at its highs, consolidates on low volumes, and then has a continuation on high volumes. This here is the signal for me to go long. Not immediately. I want to find a technical level. You know, I want to wait for it to come back. Ideally retest the level that it broke from, whether it's that one or that little wick. And it ended up actually being that wick for whatever reason, but it is what it is. and then buying into that. Now you guys might be looking at this in real time and going, it's already up 4% on a stock with no news. Why would I want to touch that? It's probably going to come off, yada, yada, yada. Well, technically it's sound. Technically it's the correct thing to do for me to buy this momentum and this break from what is this effective channel here. So it's great technically. Now where's the signal to the exit? If we watch it in real time, look at the volumes and look at the candle. So nothing, nothing, nothing. Oh, look at that, more buying. Where are we approaching? We're approaching this $8 level. What happens at this $8 level? We have good volume leading into it. It's like, okay, get the sell button ready. Get it ready, get it ready. It's coming up to this round number, smokes through this $8 level and continues. Normally we see this push through 8 and immediately reject down. That's a very common thing to see. But instead it just keeps going. Volumes keep staying strong. So we let it go. There's no reason, no signal here to exit. Absolutely nothing. Candle by candle, there is no reason to bail. We suddenly see this candle here and our first signal of sell volume. And it covers how many candles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes of data. 8 minutes of candles wiped from this one and from here. That is our signal to get the fuck out. We just rode an absolute monster from, let's call it a 770 average. I'm pretty sure it's lower than that, but, and we can start cutting. That's 6.5% for the day. It is a massive day. That is a massive day. And then you can see the follow on here. That was an unexpected wick down to $8. I don't know if someone fat fingered 36,000 shares, but there goes like $500,000, just puked it. And then, yeah, there's just cut. There's no reason to hold long anymore. This was a very straightforward day. And it's usually not this straightforward. I usually have to fight for every fucking dollar on the market. But that was technically the play. It took a lot of patience. I'm not a very patient person. But we really held out for this one. Planned it perfectly. Technically, I couldn't be more happy with the execution. It was just a great day. I just wish it had news, so there'd be a little bit more pushing power behind it, but that's okay. It was still a really nice trade. And yeah, I think that's it, guys. I just want to say a big thank you, a big shout out to Ron Burgundy. At least that's his Discord username. I'm sure that's not his real name, but I'd like to thank him for this bottle of wine, this Wendoley Malbec. I think he was happy with the stock that I mentioned that he got involved with. By the way, I never advise you guys to buy anything that I buy. I'm just explaining to you what I'm doing every day. But yeah, he sent me through a bottle of Malbec, and it's probably the best drop of wine I've had in a very long time. So thank you, Ron, for that. And yeah, I would give out my PO box, but I just know you guys are going to send me butt plugs and dildos and shit. So I might hold off on that for a little while. All right, guys. Peace out. Have a good one.